In the rugged wilderness of the Pacific Northwest, where ancient forests loom like silent sentinels and the shadows dance with unseen terrors, a lone hiker named Alex found themselves lost. The dense canopy above blocked out the sun, casting the forest floor into perpetual twilight. With each passing moment, the sense of isolation grew, and a creeping unease settled in Alex's chest like a weight. As the day waned and the forest grew darker, Alex's sense of direction faltered. Every path seemed to lead deeper into the heart of the wilderness, further from the safety of civilization. Panic clawed at their throat, but they forced it down, focusing on the task at hand: survival. With each step, the trees closed in around Alex, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers grasping for their flesh. The rustle of leaves sounded like whispered secrets, and the distant cries of nocturnal creatures sent shivers down their spine. As night fell, Alex knew they had to find shelter before the darkness consumed them. With trembling hands, they gathered fallen branches and leaves, fashioning a crude shelter beneath the canopy. But even as they huddled within its meager confines, the forest seemed to press in around them, suffocating and oppressive. Hours passed in tense silence, broken only by the occasional snap of twigs or hoot of an owl. Alex dared not close their eyes, for fear of what lurked in the darkness beyond their shelter. But as exhaustion finally overtook them, Alex drifted into an uneasy sleep, their dreams haunted by visions of unseen horrors lurking just beyond the edge of sight. When they awoke, the forest was bathed in an eerie twilight, the air thick with a sense of foreboding. Alex knew they had to move, to find their way out of this nightmare before it consumed them whole. With renewed determination, Alex set out once more, their senses sharp as they scanned the darkness for any sign of danger. But the forest seemed to have a life of its own, twisting and shifting around them like a living, breathing entity. Suddenly, a sound pierced the silence, echoing through the trees like a mournful cry. Alex froze, their heart pounding in their chest as they strained to listen. It was the sound of someone in distress, a desperate plea for help that sent a chill down their spine. Against their better judgment, Alex followed the sound, their footsteps quickening as they pushed through the dense underbrush. But as they rounded a bend in the path, they stumbled upon a scene straight from their worst nightmares. A figure stood before them, its eyes gleaming with a malevolent light. Alex's blood ran cold as they realized they were face to face with something not of this world, something ancient and powerful beyond comprehension. With a sinking feeling in the pit of their stomach, Alex knew they were in grave danger, but they refused to give in to fear, to let this creature claim them as its prey. Summoning every ounce of courage they possessed, Alex stood their ground, their hands trembling as they reached for the only weapon they had, a crude knife fashioned from a fallen branch. The creature advanced slowly, its movements sinuous and predatory. Alex's heart pounded in their chest as they braced themselves for the inevitable confrontation. But just as the creature lunged forward, a blinding light filled the forest, banishing the darkness and sending the creature recoiling in pain. Alex blinked in astonishment as they saw a figure emerge from the shadows, wielding a torch like a beacon of hope in the night. It was a fellow survivor, a lone wanderer who had stumbled upon Alex's plight and come to their aid. With their combined strength, they fought back the darkness, driving the creature back into the depths of the forest where it belonged. As dawn broke over the horizon, Alex and their rescuer emerged from the wilderness. Battered but alive, they exchanged weary smiles, their bond forged in the crucible of survival. But as they made their way back to civilization, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that the horrors of the forest would never truly leave them. For in the heart of darkness, they had glimpsed something far more terrifying than they could ever have imagined. The true depths of their own resilience in the face of unimaginable horror. Days turned into weeks as Alex tried to put the ordeal behind them, but the memory of the forest's malevolent presence lingered like a shadow. Nightmares plagued their sleep, visions of twisted trees and glowing eyes haunting their every thought. Despite their best efforts to resume a normal life, Alex found themselves drawn back to the wilderness, compelled by an inexplicable urge to confront the darkness that had nearly consumed them. With each step into the forest, the air grew thick with tension, as if the very trees themselves recoiled from Alex's presence. But they pressed on, determined to uncover the truth behind the horrors they had witnessed. As they delved deeper into the heart of the wilderness, strange phenomena began to occur. The sound of distant whispers carried on the wind, shadows that moved of their own accord, and an oppressive feeling of being watched from every direction. But Alex refused to be deterred, driven by a fierce determination to uncover the secrets hidden within the forest's depths. They pushed forward, their senses on high alert, every rustle of leaves and snap of twigs sending a shiver down their spine. And then, just when it seemed as though they were nearing the truth, disaster struck. A sudden storm descended upon the forest, fierce winds and torrential rain lashing at Alex from all sides. Lost and disoriented, Alex struggled to find their way back to safety, the darkness pressing in around them like a suffocating blanket. Panic threatened to overwhelm them, but they forced it down, focusing on the task at hand: survival. With each passing moment, the storm grew more intense, threatening to swallow Alex whole. But they refused to give up hope, clinging to the belief that they would find a way out of this nightmare. And then, just when it seemed as though all hope was lost, a flicker of light appeared in the distance, a beacon of hope cutting through the darkness. With renewed determination, Alex pushed forward, their steps quickening as they drew closer to the source of the light. As they emerged from the forest's embrace, battered but alive, Alex felt a sense of relief wash over them. They had survived the darkness, emerging stronger and more resilient than ever before. But as they turned to leave the wilderness behind, a voice echoed through the trees, sending a chill down Alex's spine. "You cannot escape me," it whispered, its words filled with malice. With a sinking feeling in the pit of their stomach, Alex realized that the darkness had not been defeated. It had merely been biding its time, waiting for the perfect moment to strike again. And as they disappeared into the safety of the world beyond, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that the horrors of the forest would never truly leave them, lurking just beyond the edge of sight, waiting for the opportunity to once again drag them into the depths of despair.